Welcome to Magical Moments with Artemis. Today we're going to talk about forgiveness and being hard on oneself. So recently I've noticed that I'm participating in a pattern where there's a little bit of resentment or maybe some begrudging energy when I think about persons in my past who I feel have wronged me, or we've played out some energy, some game where I feel like I came up short. Now, because I don't believe in victim, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be conscious about this. I'm going to realize that I called this person, place, or thing to me, blah, blah, blah. But what I notice I'm doing now is now I'm in this place of, well, there's nothing to forgive because I brought it forth. But what I'm noticing is I'm taking the weight off of a person, place, or thing where there's a perception of having done me wrong and dropping that on me. So really, all I've effectively done is played the shell game. I've moved the weight or the wrongness or what, fill in the blank, from a person, place, or thing to me. And that's not useful. In addition to it not being useful, it also brought up the awareness of being hard on oneself. And that for me is a deeply ingrained pattern, as it is for other persons. So I want to work with that. Because you can only play with that so far when really all you're ever doing is pushing yourself up against a wall. And there's no closer that you can get to the wall. You're never going to go through the wall. So in engaging that pattern, the useful question comes up, where's the end? Where's the end of being hard on yourself? Because there's a limit. There is a limit. And I don't know that people who play with that energy know that. So, for everyone in the studio audience who is hard on themselves, who just doesn't get, you can only hold that energy for so long before something gives. The example I really love and I really resonate with is you can only shove a dog's nose in its own shit for so long until it just doesn't make a difference anymore. The dog will expect it. The dog will be prepared for it in whatever form that takes, whether it's armoring, hiding, whatever. But what is it truly accomplishing as a strategy? And I hope you guys are taking this to heart. As a strategy, what does being hard on oneself accomplish? What does it heal? What does it empower? So, accessing your own consciousness, being within your own sacred container, holding the pattern of being hard on oneself. And you know what? I just want to notice it. Just noticing the pattern. How does the pattern change? For me, it's already changing. So what are you experiencing with that change? We're entangled on the quantum field. So what are you noticing? So now I want to ask, what are more effective strategies So just right over here, it feels like there's this wellspring of strategies. So here are these different strategies, innumerable strategies. Which ones would be more effective? And those are the ones that are coming into your consciousness now. And if you feel that you're not getting any, that's not correct. They're there. They just haven't filtered through into your physical experience. So that's something you can work with in the dream time. In the dream time, you can ask for those effective strategies to make themselves known. Or as you go throughout your day, you can ask for them to trickle down and come into your consciousness. However is more useful for you, however is most useful for you, is how it's going to occur, but make no mistake, they're there. So now, persons who are not playing this game of being hard on yourself, but you have those people in your life, having compassion, because that's a rough game. Did those people say yes to it? Yes. Is it still a rough game? Yes. Are you able to have compassion? Yes. Can your compassion shift and be a gift to those persons playing with that pattern as well as others? Yes. So dropping into compassion I realize that people who play the game of being hard on yourself, there can be a perception of, well, if you're too soft, if the bar isn't high enough, then you're not accomplishing anything, you're not moving forward. I get that, and yet I also know this fine line, and I'm going to call it the fine line of perversion. It's that fine line where this beautiful idea of keeping yourself in check, this beautiful idea of being on your game, gets perverted. And it gets blown back on you in such a maniacal way. In a way where there's just no room. Imagine what it's like being a dog with a collar that's one notch too short. That is what it's like when you're too hard on yourself. Imagine what it's like if you're in a cage and every breath you take, you feel all of your body up against that cage. There's simply no room. Dropping in to the light aspect. You know, if we're looking at the gradations, if we're looking at a gradient, so if the lowest, darkest place is being too hard on oneself, what would have been the lightest, more refined version of that idea, of that strategy? And that would be wanting to maintain order, wanting not to get lost, wanting not to experience chaos, wanting to keep oneself in check. Those things are all noble. Those things are all born of the light. Wanting an order, wanting to know one foot in front of the other where you're going, wanting to have a path, a direction. Those things are beautiful. But when taken to the extreme, that beautiful idea gets perverted. So, Again, just addressing everyone who's playing that strategy of being too hard on yourself. I have so much fire energy available to me right now. So I just want to bring the fire in to transmute that, to illuminate that. And I feel someone watching who's saying, no, this pattern is too hard, even fire can't melt it. That's not true. If we took that pattern and we threw it to the sun, it wouldn't even get in the sun's atmosphere. And now I'm feeling like a phantom of the pattern. So I just want to bless that with light. And I'm feeling like these just golden flecks of light and blessing. My heart's desire is that if you are in fact playing out that pattern of being too hard on yourself, that this has been a benefit, that you find your way to an elevated perspective, that you can embrace the love that was the initial spark of that pattern. So I'm blessing all of you and your experiences, and thank you for watching.